Namaste. Welcome to Mystery Vault. At the beginning of the film, we see Julia and her partner, who are both scientists. They were experimenting in a snow-covered area for which they had to put bombs in the snowy water and make some explosions. Then at the same time, a call came from the headquarters. They are alerted that there is going to be a big storm on their location, so they will have to leave there as soon as possible. A Russian submarine was passing near them, who also felt some strange and loud noise, but they also did not understand much. The most surprising thing was that the waves of the sea were rising from the bottom to the top. Julia's scanners started working in a strange way, and the snow around her camp also started breaking quickly. Julia wanted to pick up her research papers before leaving, but the storm had come very close to her. So her partner scientist pulls her to the snow moving, on which she is ridden in the snow. The captain of the submarine found out that this sound was of a living thing, and they immediately started trying to escape from it. But suddenly in the water, that very big thing collides with the submarine. Julia and her partner were trying to run away quickly due to the breaking of the snow, but unfortunately the snow began to break ahead, due to which their snow moving, which was their only way to get out of there, collided hard and burned to ashes, then sank into the water. In addition, the explosions quickly blew their camp away, and the remaining scientists slowly sank and died. There, the submarine was also constantly suffering losses, and they were sitting on their seats with great difficulty because everything was shaking violently. After a lot of effort, they managed to to attack the fire, from which we can clearly see the big tentacles coming out of the light. Then a man collided with the screen of the glass, fell far away, and fainted due to the injury. Now, before the submarine sank completely, an officer sends an emergency message, and news of the disappearance of the submarine reaches the headquarters of the Russian Navy. Because the submarine had very important weapons, so they either save it, or if they could not save it, they send a rescue team to fly it. The name of the scientist who leads this mission is Victor, who is the brother of the captain of the submarine stuck in the water. His family was very worried that Victor would also get stuck there. His mother was very worried, so she gave Victor a watch, which was his father's, which is not in this world. His mother said that she will protect you wherever she is, she will take care of you. That night, when Victor reached the docks, he found out that his father's old friend, who is a senior officer, was also going on a mission. Now he was worried that his age has increased a lot, so something might happen to him. After this, all the people in his cruise group get on the submarine. On the same side, Julia and her companion were wandering in the snowstorm. They were trying to catch the signal here that Julia's mind gets lost, and she was about to fall into a deep pit, so her companion saved her at the right time. At the same time, an oil rig signal came in Julia's phone. That is, the place in the sea where the team to dig for oil is located. And now, as soon as the signal was received, she made a call, but due to the snowstorm, it was so noisy that the people of the rig could not understand her. And in a little while, the signals went away, and the call was cut. Julia's companion was also very upset. He dropped a flare gun towards the sky and sat on the ground due to fatigue. The next morning, the submarine of Victor reached the place of the second submarine. Where she was missing, after a lot of preparation, they get into the water. Here, the crew notices that the senior officer has taken Victor to a private room where some senior officers were already present, and they are given a report to read, which makes everyone very upset. Soon, rumors of the disappearance of the old submarine spread everywhere. On the other hand, Julia and her companion found a buoy stuck in the snow. The buoy is actually a device that sends signals to the nearby ships floating in the water. Then a hope arose in them that someone would definitely come to find them. After that, they stopped wandering here and there and stopped there. When the submarine got the buoy signal, both immediately started moving in the same direction in the submarine. Suddenly, a lot of whales started moving around the submarine, but the crew members also started trying to go down without hurting them. A whale accidentally collided with the screw head, which a senior officer told the crew to run the sonar, but Victor did not agree to it. Sonar is actually used to find things, communicate with each other, and create waves of sound. But when the sonar was activated, the whales went a little far, but as soon as they closed their eyes, they came back. The crew did not understand anything what was happening. But then suddenly, all the whales leave from there, and I don't know why suddenly the lower part of the sea starts rising up. Then a big tentacle starts moving again in the dark, which kills all the whalefish with just one blow. The crew of the submarine could not hear this voice, but then their sonar started giving a signal that a very big creature is going to collide with their submarine. The senior officer thought that maybe an enemy ship is coming, so he ordered the crew members to fire, but Victor did not like this order, so he told the crew to hide quickly. A wall of submarine snow, which had cracks, goes inside it. Whenever the submarine collided with the snow, it started shaking and the sound of the radar was getting faster, which started hurting the ears of the people wearing headphones. As soon as that strange enemy follows them, the crew had to stop the submarine because a wall had blocked their way. But the good news was that the unknown enemy who was following them had gone by then. When the crew was guessing the damage of the submarine, the senior officer scolds Victor that he took a risk without thinking. Now they have no option left, so they have to come to the water to fix the submarine. At that time, Julia and her companion were lying under the stones with each other so that they felt less cold. Suddenly, the sound of breaking snow was heard, and the submarine came out of the water. People from the submarine immediately saw them and came to them. The crew members meet them and listen to them well. They were not sure if they were of the same submarine or not. Victor checked Julia's companion and then started talking to the senior officer. On this, the senior officer said that leave them here after giving them some food because it is possible that they are spies from another country. But Victor pitied them and both were put in the submarine. As soon as the repair work was completed, the submarine went back into the water and they started searching near the buoy. After the medical checkup, Julia and her companion were given food. Then Victor showed them the map and asked them the location of their camp. He also asked if they had seen anything strange. Julia says that we had seen big explosions. Hearing this, Victor thinks that the explosions may be the reason why his brother's submarine sank. The whole crew started planning what to do next. Then the senior officer says that we should go back, because whatever was in the radar a while ago, that danger can come back, that is, the enemy. If we are attacked again, it will be difficult to send an emergency signal, but Victor was desperate to find his brother and orders him to take the submarine to Julia's camp. Then the senior officer takes Victor away and alerts him about the danger and says that this is the second time when you have taken the wrong decision. If this happens again, everything will be over. Victor explains to one of his companions that we have to hurry because if someone is alive in the other submarine, then he will have less oxygen left and we should reach him soon. Then Julia heard a strange voice, which makes her nervous. But then her companion calmed her down by saying that this is the voice of the listener who is looking for the other submarine. The search continued for some time, but then the radar shows that the strange enemy is following them again. Victor tells the crew to find a place to hide like before, but this time there was no such place around them. But then there is an oil rig nearby, so Victor thought that he could find a place to hide there. When the submarine was getting ready to come to the surface of the water, all the workers of the oil rig saw the big tentacles rising from the sea, seeing whom they fainted. They immediately set off the alarm while sensing the danger, and now, as soon as they see, the tentacles start attacking the rig, causing all the buildings to fall. At many places, there were also big explosions. Many workers tried to run away in fear, but they had no place to go because the whole structure was breaking. As soon as the submarine contact with the rig breaks, Victor tried to see what was going on with the help of a telescope. When he saw the big tentacles destroying the rig, he was also very scared. He sent this whole view on the screen so that the whole crew can see who they're fighting, how big their enemy is. Now, when the rig is completely destroyed, the strange monster starts chasing the submarine again, after which they have to turn the submarine immediately. The senior officer started thinking that this is the third time Victor has made a mistake when he showed that big monster to the whole crew. That's why the senior officer says directly that now I will lead the team. He quickly said that leave 2 bombs, it was done in such a way that both the bombs went straight to the target. On this, the senior officer felt that the enemy is dead, and he said that, look, this is how it works. But then the color of his face flew away when an officer said that the enemy is still alive, which is now moving forward in more anger. Now another bomb was dropped, which caused another blast, which hit the target again. But it was not enough to kill that big monster. The monster keeps chasing the submarine, and the senior officer is not able to do anything because of fear. Then Victor started leading the team again and said that run as fast as possible, they were safe from most of the monster's attacks. But a tentacle hit the submarine hard, which caused a lot of damage to the submarine, as well as a lot of injuries to the people working there. Victor also hit his head, and he starts feeling dizzy. Some computers have a short circuit, and a computer falls directly on a man, which makes him feel bad. The submarine starts sinking, and the monster takes advantage of this moment and attacks harder. Suddenly, there was a blast in the part of the missile, there was a lot of fire, after which the crew closed the ventilation there and sealed the area completely. The 7 people stopped there and tried to extinguish the fire with the help of the fire extinguisher cylinder, but the submarine started falling down with another powerful attack of the tentacle. The radar shows that the animal has surrounded them from all sides. When the crew looked carefully, they found out that the monster is a kraken, which is a very large form of octopus. Many stories have been written about the kraken in ancient times. Now that they had one last missile left, they would have to use it with a lot of thought. They started discussing what to do next. Then Victor said to take the submarine to the silent mode, because usually marine animals hunt with sounds, so the workers in the missile room are ordered to stop the extinguishing work, which increases the level of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide there. The Kraken's voice was badly stuck in the ears of an officer, and the people in the missile room started thinking that we will die like this. But fortunately, Victor's plan worked and the Kraken went away from there. And they get back to their work, but by then the fire had spread so much that it was impossible to extinguish it with a small cylinder. Some people started burning with fire, and then Victor told everyone to empty that part. Whatever is burning, let it burn. Just save your life. When some officers were coming out of the fire area, they were badly injured, but the rest of the crew helped them to bring them to the door. In the last second, the door was closed so that the fire could not reach the rest of the parts, and the fire is finally extinguished by controlling the pressure in that room. After that, those who were still fine were given work, and those who were injured were sent to their rooms. Julia and her companion helped to treat their wounds so that the crew started trusting them. Later, Victor asked his opinion from the crew that what should we do now? Everyone says that we should go back because we do not know anything about the location of the other submarine, and we do not have any security or protection to save ourselves from the Kraken. Senior Officer Victor reminds that your dad was a hero who died saving people in the accident of the submarine, so you should show your wisdom here. After thinking a lot, Victor also agreed that it would be better for him to go back. When the submarine was returning, Victor starts reading the last letter written by his dad. Then Julia came to his room and showed the map and showed all the locations where she saw the Kraken and also told the location of her camp. Then she said that according to old stories, this monster has attacked many ships before, but then suddenly it disappeared. That's why scientists believe that the Kraken has gone into a deep sleep. Now the explosions we used may have hit the hidden house of the Kraken. Maybe that's why he woke up. If everyone wants to stay alive, they will have to stop the sonar, otherwise it will come after us again. Now, because Julia knew so well about the Kraken, Victor asks her, "Do you have any idea where my brother's submarine can be?" On this, Julia says that the Kraken pulls his prey and takes it to its home, and that place is located near their camp. Then an officer comes in and their conversation stops in the middle. The officer says that we have found a clue that people are alive there, which he says during the silent mode. In this, everyone hears that someone is knocking on some iron again and again. They track the signal and find it, and they find out that this voice is coming near Julia's camp. It was clear that some people are still alive in the other submarine. Victor called everyone and said that our soldiers are trapped in that submarine standing between life and death. If we don't save them, who will save them? Don't think that I just want to go there for my brother. If any of you were there, I would have done the same for a man. After that, he ordered his companions to take the submarine to Julia's camp. Suddenly, nut bolts started coming out of the machine and walls. Glass and lights start breaking. This meant that the submarine has gone into deeper water. Because of this, they took the submarine a little higher. Then an officer noticed that we have come to a different place. Victor said that we should send a mini small submarine to see this place well. Now, because the pilot of the mini submarine was injured in the first attack, Victor says that I will go myself, and the senior officer will lead the team until then. After which the mini submarine leaves with Victor and two other officers. As they were going into the deep water, strange sounds were heard from the iron things of the submarine due to the pressure. It was the first time they were going so deep. The pressure soon began to affect the submarine, so if they didn't get anything soon, they had to go back. Then they heard a voice from somewhere. And when they went to that place, they found that there were thousands of sunken ships. This means that Julia's theory and stories are absolutely true. That is, the Kraken has already attacked several ships and made them its prey. Now they finally find the other submarine and they check its damage. Where has the damage been? They saw that the next part of it is still absolutely fine. This means that some people may be hiding there. They tried to connect this mini submarine with the old submarine. But obviously, it was very difficult to do this under so much pressure. But finally, after a lot of effort, they made a connection. Victor wore a diving suit that he wears while swimming, and with the help of this connection, he goes into the second submarine. When he opened the door, he was very happy to go inside, because his brother Alexander and the whole crew were alive. About this, he immediately told the main submarine. They all started celebrating happily. Now, Victor sent as many people as could fit in the mini submarine, but it took 2 times to save everyone. That's why Victor decided that I will stay here with my brother. He put a tracker on the front of the submarine so that his location would not be lost. But then he remembered that the Kraken can also catch the signal. That's why that tracker was shut down. When the mini submarine left from there, the whole submarine shook hard for once, but did not fall down. Soon they reached the main submarine, and the treatment of the saved people started. But the pilot who was driving the submarine was not able to go the second time. He was in bad condition. That's why Julia did not ask to help her partner, because he had worked in the submarine before. That's why he agrees. When the mini submarine left from there, then the senior officer sees on the radar that the Kraken has started to shake again. On the other hand, Victor and Alexander went to find those dangerous weapons that their seniors had asked for. They go to the destroyed area and take out the code from the safe. But when they tried to put the code in the computer, the system did not work. But Victor was not one of those who gave up. And after pressing many buttons at the same time, the computer finally turns on. He saw that this weapon could not be used again. So he decided to go back to the submarine, but he was not able to go back to the submarine. He saw that this weapon was still working. The mini submarine caught the signals coming out of these weapons and followed the signals and reached there. But everyone in the main submarine was scared because the Kraken had come very close to them. The crew quickly landed the submarine in the lower part of the sea and went into silent mode. The Kraken throws a big stone on the submarine, which damages that part, and water starts coming in. This makes everyone very scared. The mini submarine quickly reaches the location of Victor, but when it was moving forward, the tracker accidentally turned on. The Kraken was about to attack the main submarine, but as soon as it gets the tracker signal, it starts moving towards its cave. The senior officer ordered the crew to take advantage of this opportunity and go up. Meanwhile, Victor was trying to reach the mini submarine, which was shut down because of the Kraken's attack. When Alexander heard the sound of the mini submarine, he asked his crew to leave while he himself was waiting for his brother Victor. Finally, Victor reached the room with the weapons and started coding inside the missile while Alexander was coding in the computer. It took some time to load the weapons. Meanwhile, the Kraken found them. They were also mentally prepared for his attack. When his tentacles were revolving around the submarine, the two brothers talked to each other and apologized to each other for their old fights. The Kraken broke half of the submarine in a snap, but that part was already empty. The Kraken was about to attack again. Then the two brothers pressed the button together so that the weapons could be fired. Now the water was about to enter the submarine, so Victor quickly comes back to Alexander. Now the weapons were about to explode by themselves, so the two brothers tried to get out quickly. The submarine was now sinking, and due to the strong waves, water was coming into the corridor, which separated the two brothers. Victor finds Alexander and sees his hand coming out of the water. Then he immediately grabbed his brother's hand and pulled him towards him, and finally, Victor saves Alexander. The two brothers climbed the stairs into the submarine and closed the door so that the water could not enter. Now there are only 2 minutes left for the explosions, but the mini submarine was not able to launch. When they were going down due to joining the main submarine, Victor saw the emergency lever. As soon as he pulls it, the mini submarine separates from the second submarine, and now it starts coming out of there quickly. As there are blasts there, due to the fast waves, their mini submarine starts spinning while in the main submarine, everyone was just waiting for their safety to come up. After a while, everyone's hopes began to break. They thought that perhaps those two brothers had died and their faces hung with regret. But then some bubbles began to come in the water. It was the mini submarine that finally came up safely. Everyone starts celebrating that we all finally survived. And the bravery of both brothers is praised by the crew led by Victor. Their mother was also waiting for them. And when she saw that both my sons have returned safely, her life was saved. Mother and son are very happy to meet each other. And with this, the story ends here. If you love this mystery, hit that like button, subscribe to Mystery Vault, and turn on notifications for more movie mysteries. See you in the next one!